What's up, everybody? I'm the Derek Frank, and today I'm going to talk about if it's worth it to do Twitch or YouTube if you're a musician. Here we go. Evan, roll the tape. Evan, roll the tape! So it's really exciting to be here and being more consistent making videos on YouTube. So if you're liking what you're seeing and you want to see more, make sure, do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button and the bell icon. It helps me out a lot. Plus, you know, I just want you to. And that should be enough, right? No. Anyways, let's get to it. So before I really got started on YouTube, I was streaming on Twitch. I really enjoyed it. I still see that Twitch is a great asset. Before I was live streaming on Twitch, I was doing a lot of music live streaming on Facebook and a little bit on Instagram as well. And those used to do really well, but Facebook and Instagram lately have just squashed things for musicians. They want you to buy advertising, and I understand to a point, but it's just one of those things where people are moving off the platform because it's way too hard to even have the people who already follow you notice what you're doing. So I made a switch last year to start streaming on Twitch. Now, what was really cool about that is everybody knows Twitch is more of like a gaming streaming thing. And I did that too, and I really loved it. And it was fun to just hit the stream button when I was playing with my buddies. But it was also a good way for me to get some more experience doing live streaming and just being on camera for a long period of time. And then I started to do my music stuff on Twitch as well, which also was really good. I actually had more success with my music stuff on Twitch than I did with my video game stuff. So then as I kept grinding and kept going and doing more, it got to the point where I'm like, I'm not seeing any growth. And that is because Twitch has no discoverability. People don't go on Twitch very often and search out new people to watch. They either get recommended from a friend, or they see press somewhere else, or they find them on Discord. It's not that you're just going and searching a lot through Twitch. And if you are, usually the top people are at the top of the list when you're searching, and then everybody else is just way, way down. So no matter what I did to promote it, I just wasn't getting a lot of new people. The other hard part was that I have a good following on Instagram and Facebook, but since they're owned by the same people, they don't want you to promote Twitch and YouTube on there. So when you post a link or talk about Twitch or YouTube, Facebook squashes it really fast. So that made it really difficult for me to have my followers on the platforms that I was doing well on move over to these other platforms, so they couldn't see me. Again, I understand that's Facebook and Instagram's ploy to get you to stay on their platforms and live stream there, but if they're not showing my live streams to my audience, why would I continue to live stream there? So after doing several months on Twitch and not seeing a lot of growth, I made the decision to try out YouTube. And YouTube really came by accident. I had a few videos on YouTube. I had my music video and some live performance videos of when I used to tour, but that was it. And I hadn't posted a video on YouTube in over 4 years. So what happened was my friend Andrew Masters had asked me if I could have him come over and do a tour of my studio shed. And when he did that, the video blew up. It's at over 66,000 views at this point, and it made a lot of people ask questions of how did I make my studio? How did I build my screen? How did I build my desk? And I was like, oh my gosh, I have to jump on this train while it's moving fast. So I started putting out videos right away, and I had the goal of putting out a video every week, if not more. But I also found that with my job and everything else going on, it was really hard to do that. And I'm not a videographer, so I was learning how to edit. I was learning how to do this, and I would have videos that were maybe 8 to 10 minutes long, and it was taking me 8 or 9 hours to edit them. And also, I had the idea that I wanted to do my backstage reports. With my job, I get to go backstage. I'm hanging out with musicians, famous musicians, touring musicians, whatever, and I wanted to give a little bit more of an insider look at the music industry. And when I had that idea, the pandemic hit. And so I was like, oh, I'll just do it later. I'll do it later. I'll do it later. Well, then as things slowly came back, I realized it was a great time to just do it. So I went out with Chris Jansen a few times and documented those shows, and they did really well. I think people really enjoyed them, and I'm gonna continue doing that. But because of all of this stuff, my growth on YouTube went from like 40 subscribers before I posted anything in the last 4 years to over 400 right now, which might not seem a lot, but with only a few videos, that seems really big to me for growth. Whereas Twitch, I was on 4 or 5 days a week, streaming for several hours a day, and I don't even have 200 followers yet. So YouTube made it a lot easier for me to be discovered. That's where I think musicians are going to have a better chance. Now, there is the option of multi-streaming. You can use services like Restream or StreamYard. I use BeLive. I really think it's a great platform, and it's all web-based. So that's great. So you can team up your OBS software with those, and you can stream to different sources. But with Twitch, when you become a Twitch affiliate, then they say that you're not supposed to multi-stream, and then you can't make money on it. Honestly, like, unless you're a Twitch partner and you're at a really high level, they're not watching you. So I say, if you want to try it and you're only, broadcasting to, under 50 people, go for it. I don't think it's going to hurt anything, and I don't think Twitch is going to take your page down. YouTube does not have that same requirement. But with YouTube, in order to start monetizing, you do have to have over 1,000 subscribers and over 4,000 watch hours in 1 year. That's a lot of work. I'm not at that point yet. So I set up an 18-month plan for me to try to reach that 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. And I'm already ahead of schedule, but again, I've got to keep putting out content. And that's what it's going to take for artists and for anybody to make it on YouTube. But the live streaming thing is something that I think is really exciting with YouTube, because they're really understanding that Twitch and Facebook are kind of taking over in those worlds. So YouTube's putting a lot of energy into that. YouTube also just launched their shorts to compete with TikTok and Instagram Reels. I'm not seeing any growth with that. I've put up a few short videos and I've gotten like 15 views in several days, whereas a normal video of mine is getting a couple thousand within the first week or so, which is really great. That's what I'm looking for. I'll continue to try the YouTube shorts, see if they work out for me, but as of right now, I'm not seeing much out of it. That also is probably because my channel does not have a lot of subscribers. Now, if you're just starting off like I am, what should you do? Is Twitch more important? Is YouTube more important? I think you really have to decide for yourself what is going to be the best platform. And the best way to do that is to use all of the platforms. There's nothing wrong with being diverse and trying everything. I know it's a lot more work, takes a lot more energy, but I think in the long run it's going to help you. My personal choice is YouTube. YouTube has a better payout structure. There's a lot more long-term effects of being on YouTube. And when you get to those higher levels, it's a lot easier to be noticed. You get the Google search algorithms that hit in because YouTube is owned by Google. You're going to have options to do more advertising, working with companies, and that's stuff I look for from influencers in my job personally as well, with musicians or just people that are influencers that might work for my products. The thing that people really get scared about, and I'm really guilty of this, is not having the right equipment to get started. I always thought I had to have the best, and while I've been upgrading my gear, I'm actually using a new setup today. You don't have to do that. You can do some great things with the cell phone, which I have that video in a description below. And you can also just kind of go and just get started. People are pretty forgiving at the beginning. And as you get better on camera, then you can upgrade your gear. It doesn't have to have the most expensive, the best gear, the industry standard to start. Just get started. I think that's the advice that I see from all of my favorite vloggers that have big channels with over 100,000 or even the million subscribers, is that you just have to start. You're never gonna get followers if you don't start. So, in closing, I don't care what platform you use, as long as you're doing something. Get out there, get to work, start putting videos out, start doing live streams, whatever it is that you want to do that you think is going to work for you, and then evaluate it. Do it every 30 days, every 60 days, every 90 days. Just make sure you're doing something. Thank you guys so much for watching. I always appreciate you guys hanging out. I love the comments. Leave a comment down below. Just, what you think. Do you like Twitch or YouTube more? I want to see who is on what platforms more, and how did you find my channel? Was it something that you already knew me, or did you find it through searching randomly on the internet? Thanks everybody. Have a good one. We'll see you next time.